Water. It is our most precious resource here in Arizona, and as you all know, we are in yet another severe drought. Well, as humans, we know what to do. We conserve water, but what about our wildlife? What do they do? Well, the Arizona Game and Fish Department, they have a plan in place, but you know what? We need your help too. I'm with John Treeweiler. He's the Public Information Officer with Arizona Game and Fish, along with Joe Curry, who is the Habitat Planning Program Manager. Joe, I'm going to chat with you in just a minute. John, I want to start with you. There's a long-term effect to lack of water for our wildlife. What might that be?
Well, just like you said, you know, Arizona is in a cycle of what we call long-term drought. We're dealing with these dry, hot conditions. So that has long-term impacts on wildlife, and it's a pretty huge impact it has on them. It adds extra stress to everything else they're dealing with in nature. It can have long-term impacts on their reproductive cycles. So just because they're not getting water or they're struggling to find water, it really has a long-term impact on their life and the cycle of that species.
Yeah, it really does. And we've been in a drought for a long time, and that's kind of the problem. So what is Arizona Game and Fish doing about this in order to help wildlife survive?
Well, obviously, you know, we'll take rain when we can get it, and any rain helps. But just because we have a summer maybe where there's good rain, we're not going to get out of this drought. So, like you said, we're maintaining and managing 3,000 wildlife waters. Some of those are man-made catchments, and we're delivering water to those remote locations so that wildlife have a fighting chance out there. They can get water in areas where the water may be dried up or where they may not have a source of water, so they can survive.
How many species are we talking about here in Arizona that we need to be concerned about?
Over 800 species call the state of Arizona home.
All of them, all of our wildlife.
More than any other inland state in the United States. So it's a large number, and it's anything. You know, there's no discrimination here. Everything from elk to bighorn sheep, snakes, bats, you name it. They're all in search for water.
Yeah, and they're all important to the cycle of life of our wildlife. So, Joe, let's talk about the undertaking that you manage every single day and making sure that our wildlife has water. How many wildlife waters are we looking at across the state of Arizona that you have to manage?
Right, well, including ours and the federal agencies that have some, we're talking 3,000 catchments across the whole state of Arizona in some of the most remote places imaginable.
How do you get water to them?
Well, we've custom made 5-ton water trucks that haul 1,700 gallons at a time to get us to far enough into those sometimes, but some of them are too far. There is no road or anything, so then we have to go by via helicopter.
Wow. And think about the expense of doing that. Not just the helicopter, but even the trucks and maintaining the trucks and the manpower and getting all of that there. Joe, if the agency, if you guys didn't do what you were doing right now, and you've been doing this for several years, what would happen to our wildlife?
Well, the populations you see now would not be there. It would be very rare to see any wildlife, because the wildlife populations would take a drastic decrease, and they would only be around, you know, a more permanent water. And nothing's permanent, but some of the streams and some of the springs are there. But if this drought gets worse, they might not be. So that population is going to take a drastic downturn.
And I know that AZ Game and Fish, you guys are doing a lot in order to really advance this into the next generation, so to speak, because we're not looking at a drought going away anytime soon. So you're using a lot of technology. How important is that to continuing this effort of helping our wildlife survive?
So it's a huge thing, not only for the protection of the wildlife and the ongoing, but public safety as well as our people. So right now we're using water gauges that send out signals telling us what the levels are at these catchments. So if they do go low, we can preemptively fill them.
Yeah. Still takes manpower, right? Still takes water. Guys, thank you so much. Here is how you can help. You can give wildlife a fighting chance. Donate today at sendwater.org or text sendwater, one word, to 41444 and learn more about the campaign at azwildlifehero.com.